You guys familiar with ESG? So it's environmental, for those that are familiar, environmental social governance. It's basically ideological. I think it's basically state communism or state capitalism, whatever you want to call it, injected into corporations, imposing an ideological bent on what they can or can't do in exchange for a score. It's like a social credit score. What do you guys think about ESG?
You know, I think I'm typically against the government getting involved in corporations, but I also see where some people are coming from. I think that our environment's important. I have young kids. I hope that climate change doesn't progress like some people are projecting. I think it's kind of one of those gray areas. Like I don't think ESG should be totally cut off, but I also don't think that we should take it over and overkill. I think that
don't remove it.
Everything has an in-between, I think.
But ESG, it's either in our institutions or it's not, right? Either we're telling, so this is what happened in West Virginia. There's energy companies in West Virginia. It's a big industry. And these companies were told they could no longer secure financing to operate because it was against ESG. And it's like, okay, well, that destroys the economy of West Virginia and puts everybody out of work. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, we should burn the plant to the ground for the sake of someone having a job. But certainly the solution isn't just to be like, we've implemented an ideological system that now destroys your industry. Yeah. There's got to be ways to get, we got to find a way to, I think, technologically advance away from this.
Yeah, I agree.
So like the example I often give is how they used to be scared that New York would be littered with mounds of horse crap everywhere because the horses were transporting all the goods. And there was like this article written like a turn of the century, 1900s, there will be so much horse crap you won't be able to live in the city anymore. And they invented the car. Yeah. And so my view is like, we need to slowly shift off these industry through invention and innovation. ESG seems more like what China does. The government gets involved or some kind of ideological entity gets involved and then punishes people, takes away their ability to operate their business unless they do things like fire their white board member and put a black woman as a board member. I don't see how that's actually solving any problems or making anyone's life better other than actually creating racial animosity, destroying industries. And my view actually is if they start destroying these companies, they're actually going to make the issue of pollution worse. It's going to result in people with like disheveled, broken down, disgusting houses, an inability to properly maintain a building, meaning you're going to get metals leaching into the water. People are going to get sickly. It's going to create pollution problems. The economy isn't just, can we build a house? It's, can we properly remove wastes, recycle wastes, innovate ways to solve these problems? And destroying these industries, in my opinion, will probably result in us just piling up waste and living in filth. And then you're going to get people who are going to be angry about the race stuff. So that's where it comes to, the financial policy of giving money to these big corporations like BlackRock or whatever to buy up property. It's the ideological component. I suppose outside of all of that, though, we can talk for a bit. I'm curious your thoughts on wokeness in general, critical race theory. We should talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that those on the right pay too much attention to the social issues and things that really aren't impacting them. And if they're doing so in a way that affects the happiness of other people and affects the way other people feel, I don't agree with it. I think that politicians on the right, and not everybody, I think that they should focus on other issues rather than some of the issues they've been focusing on,